Okay, now we have everybody here. Is everybody ready? I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for attending this evening. And we're going to start with the invocation by our police chief, Roy Whitehead.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together to handle the business of our community. May everything that we do be pleasing to you. We do it in a positive way to learn to work together. Help us to become united, to become one race, the human race, and celebrate our diversity by working together as partners and making this to be the best community in this country. I ask again your blessings on all the activities that we do at this meeting tonight, and I ask all these things in thy name. Amen.
Thank you. And now, Pledge of Allegiance. We can have some co-captains come forward and lead us in the pledge, please.
Where's Harris? Harris? Come on.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is a presentation of the Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award to Lena Tata. Did I say that right? This is Resolution 2021-03.
It's the one that Eric Van Alderen has that. Eric Van Alderen has that.
He's new.
No, this is the resolution for the.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
the, oh, I'm sorry. He's got the, this is a check. You don't want a check. You think? Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not going to look in there, so you can find out what it is. And do you want to get your picture here? You're supposed to hold this because you're getting it. Okay. Would you like to say something?
Thank you. No, this is for the last thing.
Okay. All right. Now, I understand that the South Gwinnett boys soccer team deserves some special recognition, and Christy Linsky will tell us all about it.
All right. Well, welcome everyone tonight. I am so proud that my school, South Gwinnett High School, is here tonight. So many of my students are here, some of whom I don't really recognize because of this very strange year that we've had. Many of you have been only digital. So special request from me, if all of those of you who have been in my classes this year and last year could just hang out for a quick minute after we do the resolution so we could get a special picture. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So tonight, I'm going to read you your proclamation 2021-08, honoring the South Gwinnett High School boys varsity soccer team for their outstanding 2021 season. Whereas the South Gwinnett High School boys varsity soccer team, through hard work and perseverance, reached the Final Four of the Class 7A state tournament for the first time in school history. The Comets are the reigning 7A Region 4 champions, earning an outstanding season-winning record of 17-4-2 over 23 hard-fought matches. Whereas the Comets take great pride in respecting their opponents and playing the game of soccer with class and dignity. This demanding athletic competition requires the highest levels of skill, determination, teamwork, discipline, and focus. And whereas the team is coached by head coach and Gwinnett County Coach of the Year, Christian Vasquez. Assistant coaches Abel Mendez and Lexi Luther, with the assistance of manager Princess Amoko. And whereas these outstanding high school players have represented themselves, their families, their school, and their community proudly on and off the field. Please come forward as I call your name. And we'll get a picture, of course, at the end. Robel Abesalam. Nathaniel Ariojo. Alexis Calvillo. Yay. Eric Calvillo. I can't get over how much Eric has grown since last year as a 9th grader. Adrienne Cuenca. Kaimar Denton. Freeman Dessine. Nick Fabra. Brian Gonzalez. Nahom Kibadide. Locke Lee. Caleb Luo Garner. Anthony Maldonado. Tresser Nagoja. No. Kevin Portillo. Sorry. Jorge Ivan Remigio. Caleb Rowland. Tyler Tott. Kenichi Walker. And now, Gwinnett County Player of the Year, Kadeem Agard. And now, Gwinnett County Scholar Athlete of the Year, Sekou Agard. And the backbone of the team, co-captains, Harris Huskovich, and Jacob Rollin. Coaches, come on forward too. We have some special pins from the city and, of course, your proclamation, assisted by council. Yeah.
I'll go start on this.
We're going to need to bunch all together. Come on all together and everybody in the picture. So like the Last Supper. Yeah. You take the mask off for the picture. If you're comfortable taking your masks off for the picture. We have all the coaches? We have all the coaches, right? Okay. Making sure. Okay. You guys can decide who gets it. Everybody squeeze in. Squeeze in. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now this is a winning picture right here. We're like all. Okay.
Yeah, all the short ones come back up.
Oh, wow. That's so That's so
You got space on the right.
Okay. Okay. Wait, there's more. No, there's more. No more. There's still some. Parents, come on in. If you miss, come as close as you want.
I gave them the ones on the other end. Oh. You gotta hit the guys in the middle. Yeah.
No, wait. Wait, there's more.
Wait.
Wait, there's more. This is a good meeting to do this, though. Okay. Wait, there's more. Okay. Could I have the Romans, the Agars, Eric, Adrian, and Brian, everybody who was mine this year. Hang out. Everybody got a pen? Okay, my students, hang out for a minute if you could. Okay. And we're gonna do. Where's Brian?
Who doesn't have a pen?
Who doesn't have a pen?
Who doesn't have a pen?
His name. Okay, my students, Lenski students, you guys. Adrian, Brian, Kevin was mine. Okay. Kevin. Kevin was mine. He was all digital. Okay. Yay, thank you guys. Awesome. Congratulations. Enjoy. Everybody's got a pen. They're so cute. They all dressed up. I know. Whatever happens, I shall not cry. You know, I skipped the last part of reading the, I didn't realize that. I get so excited when they were all down. Aw. Can I finish reading it? You think? Aw. Aw, okay.
Start the clock. Let's see what we can do.
I know.
Next, we have approval of the minutes of the May 10th, 2021 meetings and the May 13th special called joint meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the May 10th, 2021 meetings and the May 13th, 2021 special called joint meeting.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. That's 5 in favor, 0 opposed. I think that means it passes, right? Okay, we have no invited guests, and for committee and department reports, Police Department will present a few facts and information about a variety of subjects.
We want to take this opportunity to talk about the speed camera program that we have here in our city. As historical information, we started looking at this about 3 or 4 years ago. And we didn't immediately get into it because we wanted to look at what the efficacy was in other jurisdictions that already had this implementation. There were 4 cities in Gwinnett that already had it prior to our implementation. Lawrenceville is about to go live, but actually, because of the end of the school year, it'll be the next school year. And Gwinnett County is applying for permits to put them in schools in the unincorporated area as well. We knew from our experience with red light cameras that there would initially be an extremely large number of violations. We also know that as the program progresses, you will see a dramatic decrease in those particular offenses. As in the red light cameras, we had the year before we started them, we had over 2,000 traffic crashes in our city. And once they were up and operational, about a year, we dropped down to 1,250. And it does seem like there are a lot of violations that occur, but you have to keep in mind that daily there's 100,000 cars a day that pass through on US 78. That means during the time that this has been operating, over 4 million cars have passed through this school zone. So basically 99.6% of the people who come through this school zone or are obeying the speed limit are going below the threshold of 45 miles an hour. There's been some confusion, some people saying that we reduced the speed limit. We've never reduced the speed limit. The speed limit's been the same for probably well more than 30 years out there. The 35-mile zone runs from the auto zone at Snellville Oaks all the way to Henry Clower on the west side of Georgia 124. And it's been that way for quite a while. The confusion, I think, seems to come from the fact that there's a flashing sign, flashing beacons that say school speed limit 35 when flashing. These are 2 separate laws. The law that talking about the beacons, what that actually means is that if a police officer stops you during the time that those lights are flashing, they can write you a citation at 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. They also, it gives you at least a minimum of 2 points, and depending on your speed, it could go up to maybe even 6 points against your license. And the fine is more than 3 times the amount of the civil fines that are associated with the speed cameras. We've had complaints for years, and we've worked that area for years, and we do get a number of violations. Clearly, the technology exists that allows us to get even more violations than we've ever been able to do, but we also are able to do it in a safe manner by not entering the flow of traffic and trying to make a traffic stop on those particular vehicles. the complaints we get around the city, the major complaint we get are traffic violations. By having this particular technology and this program in place, we're able to have our officers go out and work in other areas and where we get other complaints, which is obviously a force multiplier that helps us be more effective around the city. I'm happy to say that those violations are going down, but again, in the history of it, we had 2 students that were hit by vehicles in the school zone, one at the parking lot, one at Wisteria and 78. But I don't know, no child's life is worth that. The bottom line is that nobody gets a citation that's not doing 11 miles over the speed limit. It doesn't happen. So people are speeding, and it's obviously revenue neutral. If you don't speed, you don't get a ticket. So we ask that people just comply with it. And what we're seeing, and every day we're seeing, people are slowing down. I come up Skyland every day to come to work, and you don't find anybody not doing 25 miles an hour through the school zone coming up Skyland. So the word is getting out, and it'll continue to get out. But again, the thing to remember is these citations are only issued on days that school is actually in session too. So that's a very important thing. But I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Perry, and he's going to give you some of the actual data.
I appreciate it, Chief. Thank you, Council. We didn't want to hit y'all with too many numbers, but we know that y'all are interested in this data because it's been such a highly talked about thing on social media, and there's still other media entities that are trying to talk about it. So we wanted to get the information out to you. The first slide, does everybody see the slides? Well, if you get access to that, there was some question about what the data would be for May. And this is just the raw numbers as far as the number of violations at each location for May. Now, the data that we're looking at here is May 1st to May 18th. That's the most recent data that we can get. The information is constantly updated through RedSpeed, the company that actually processes these citations. So this is just 18 days for the first 18 days of May. And as you can see, Highway 78 eastbound is by far has the most number of violations. And as you see, Skyland Drive northbound, or Skyland northbound has the least. Probably one of the areas that we've been looking at the most is Pate Road westbound. And I think you'll see in just a second how much of an improvement we made in that area as far as the number of violations on Pate Road. But if you want to go to the next slide. This is information that is probably the most important to us because it compares the number of violations that we're getting per day. That's actually what is important, not the raw number of tickets that we're getting, because that's just, there could be 14 days in a school month, there could be 18 days in a school month. It just depends on the school calendar. So these are the actual violations per day. If you look at the yellow chart, that would show a considerable decrease over time as far as the comparing it to the program history, which is in green. You see each location has shown a considerable decrease in the number of violations per day, and that's over the course of the program. So this is accomplishing what we're trying to get it to accomplish. We would like it to get it to 0, but that's not going to happen because drivers are inattentive. If you go to the next slide. This is a breakdown that really shows the decrease between February and May. And this is for Highway 78, both east and westbound. You see in the beginning of the program in February, we were looking at about 495 violations on Highway 78 eastbound per day. So almost 500 cars per day were going 11 or more over. And now we're down to just over 200. So that's a considerable decrease. On westbound traffic, we started at around 230 violations a day, and we're down to 75. So, I mean, that's amazing. If you go to the next slide. And the same trend for Skyland, northbound or north and southbound on Skyland Drive. And if you notice, the violations on the northbound has actually gotten down to only 11 violations a day. These are where the kids are actually crossing the crosswalk. This is the most important street in our opinion. Although we have had people that try to cross on Highway 78, that it's a very dangerous situation when they're trying to do that. But we're really focused on this. We've gotten a lot of complaints on Skyline about people speeding. Can we go to the next one? And here you have the information on Pate, of course, the same trend that we expected. If you look at the number of violations on Pate westbound, which is just a 2-lane road, you're up around 160 violations a day, which is amazing on a 2-lane road. And that's gone all the way down to the around 30. So the speeds are definitely reducing, and that's our focus. We're trying to get them to, we'd rather have complete compliance. But if you go to the next slide, you'll actually see the percentage of the reduction since February for all the locations. So the lowest reduction is 56%, and that's Highway 78 eastbound. But we've had as much as an 86% reduction on Skyland. So it's doing its job, it's working. And we can answer any questions, or hopefully answer any questions you might have.
I have a question. If these schools are offering summer school, will the cameras be operational during summer school?
They will.
Okay.
Only when students are present. And on the days that they go, which is about 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks max, but 4 weeks, I think.
Do you have any idea why eastbound 78 is so much greater than any place else?
Well,
or as
part of
opposed
it-
to westbound?
And this is just a guess based on experience, but you have people that might get stacked up at the light at Skyland, and they feel like they're free from traffic. So I think they're just accelerating up through the school zone. But there's really no reason for them, because like Chief said, the speed limit starts at the McDonald's or near the McDonald's is 35.
I want to address another thing, is that the signage. We've had some complaints about the signage. The signage complies exactly what the state says we can do. We can't erect a sign on US 78 that doesn't have Georgia DOT approval. And we understand that. The signs meet their size requirements. They meet all the requirements of DOT. They are DOT authorized signs. But pointing out the distance in eastbound, one of the things that we are looking at, and we've reached out to Georgia DOT, and I believe will happen soon, is when they did the diverted left turn construction at 78 and 124, there used to be a 35-mile-per-hour sign just east of Georgia 124. They took that down. Well, now you have the diverted left lanes that come up on this side and traffic going eastbound on this side. So what we're asking them to do is erect a new 35-mile-per-hour sign somewhere in the area of the Resonant Bank or the Old Crystal. They're going to do that there. Also, there used to be a sign in the block in front of First Baptist Church. That one's now been moved to eastbound, east of Skyland Drive. Clear right when you make that turn. But we're going to ask them to put up another 35-mile-per-hour sign at the parking lot for First Baptist Church. So we're trying to address anything that anybody has a concern. But the bottom line is the speed limit on that road is 35 miles an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And no one's getting a citation that's not doing 11 miles an hour or more over that speed. Again, if an officer were there making that same traffic stop, which they could from 1 mile an hour over, that would be a treble fine of at least 3 times what the civil fine is, and then also points against your license, where the civil fine gives no points against the license. Regardless of that, the whole goal for this is traffic safety and to make the safety around our schools. I don't think the loss of one child or the injury to one child is acceptable. So everything we can do to make it safe, that's the goal and that's the purpose. Thank you.
Could y'all share the file with us, the presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Can you email that? She'll email it.
Any other questions? Okay. Next up, we have approval of the agenda. Do I have a
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Oh, got that? All in favor? Raise your hand. 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Next item is a public hearing to provide citizens the opportunity to submit written and oral comments on the proposed operating budget of the City of Snellville for the fiscal year 2021-2022. Anybody would like to make a comment, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. We have nothing on the consent agenda. Old business is consideration and action on placemaker design contract for design and architectural services for the Mercantile Building. Mr. Sanders, you want to fill us in on that?
This is a proposal that came from Placemaker Design for the architectural work, the design of the market, and we have been through several discussions regarding our municipal market. We have a current proposed lease out that we should receive back fairly shortly. But we had a committee of the mayor and council composed of three folks, I believe Ms. Schultz, Mr. Warner, and Mr. Emanuel. And we interviewed three very qualified firms. Placemaker not only was, we felt, the most qualified, but they were by far the least expensive. They have quite a track record. They do very impressive work that they've worked with a variety of clients, and I think they'll do a very good job here. I think the DDA earlier this evening put their stamp of approval on the contract, and I would ask the mayor and council to do that this evening in the amount of $118,500. Award Placemaker Design the design work and architectural work on the municipal market.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the contract for Placemaker Design for design and architectural services for the Mercantile Building in the amount of $118,500.
Thank you. Second, anyone? All in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Under new business, we have first reading of ordinance 2021-17, adoption of fiscal year 2021 to 2022 budget for each fund of the city of Snellville, appropriating the amount shown in each budget as expenditures, expenses, adopting the several items of revenue, anticipations, and prohibiting expenditures or expenses from exceeding the actual funding available. Do I have a motion to waive the first reading and place on the agenda for the June 14th meeting?
Motion to waive the first reading of the 2021-2022 budget.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. 5 in favor and 0 opposed. Next item we have is consideration and action on Resolution 2021-03, authorizing the City of Snellville to subscribe to the ethics principles of the Georgia Municipal Association. We must re-adopt the Georgia Municipal Association's 5 ethic principles every 4 years so the city can maintain its status as a certified city of ethics. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 2021-03, authorizing the City of Snellville, reauthorizing our ethics principles.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5 in favor, 0 opposed. So now we move on to council reports. And who do we want to start with, Solange?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm so delighted to have been able to serve this past Saturday, to serve the free food boxes with Dana Curtin, with Claudine's Kitchen, members of the City Closet, with Claudine's Closet, members of the City Council and Snellville Tourism and Trade. There were a lot of volunteers present. This is something that I have asked for before from council, and it wasn't received very well. I'm glad that now we are participating in this endeavor, and I hope that we can periodically host more of these events because it is very much needed in and around our city. Also, I want to again congratulate our South Gwinnett High School soccer players on receiving a City of Snellville proclamation. I'm so proud of the way they played. And hey, like I always say, there is always next year. They will come back stronger and play harder. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and drive safely home. Thanks again.
Thank you, Solange. Mr. Warner.
Guess I should turn that on. Yes.
Or not.
Or not, yeah. Kurt would be happy.
Kurt's never happy.
I was lucky to be able to go and help out on Saturday morning, and the South Gwinnett football team showed up to help hand out food, and it was a lot of fun to see all the smiling faces. Some of them you had to force to get to smile, but that's okay. It was early. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning. It was a wonderful way to spend the morning, and I look forward to doing it again and again. This last week, we had a Snellville Citizens Police Academy alumni meeting, and sorry. One of the things we have upcoming is the 2021 Snellville Public Safety Night. It's going to be June 8th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? No. Just let me know. This year it's going to be a little different. It's going to be over at Briscoe Park, and we will be over there, have vendors, we'll have people from our police department, from the fire department, from the county sheriff, from all sorts of public safety groups out there. We'll have alarm companies. We'll have folks that can help you with your internet security. And we hope that you will share with members of the community that we'll be out there June 8th from 6 to 8 at Briscoe Park. We'd love to see everybody there. I know all of council is going to be there, right, guys? Mm-hmm. And we look forward to seeing you there. And with that, I will pass the baton to whoever's next.
That would be Ms. Linsky.
Okay. Special thank you to Coach Lamar, who happens to be our new football coach for South Gwinnett High School, for motivating his young team to come out and lift those heavy boxes for the food distribution on Saturday. That was incredibly helpful because I was a little nervous about having to do that. Also, Solange did not mention that she and I actually graduated from the Citizens Police Academy last week. So that was the 30th Police Academy for Citizens, and we just really learned so much information, incredibly valuable experience for us. It was an eventful, exciting weekend here in Snellville. On Friday evening, we had a ribbon cutting for the new owners of Nigo's Wine Corner. So welcome to Seth and Regina to our Snellville community. Very, very unique business that I personally really enjoy. Also heard there was a movie production crew filming for an independent movie in Snellville this weekend near our police station. So very exciting event there. And Snellville's South Gwinnett High School hosted the first leg of the Women's Professional Flag Football National League this past weekend. The WFFN was founded by Norman Carter, and it currently consists of 9 teams representing Atlanta, Boston, San Francisco, Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Florida, Texas, Southern California, and Mexico. All of these kinds of events, of course, bring people to Snellville, and people come into the city and they spend money in our hotels. They shop at our small businesses, and they certainly eat at our restaurants. So great things for Snellville all around. Summer school, just so you're aware of the dates, traffic cameras and all that. Summer school dates at South Gwinnett High School will be June 14th through July 7th. And that will actually, the hours will be a little bit different, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And congratulations to all of those individuals who are graduating this year, 2021. And thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Schultz?
I have what I think is some exciting news about our community garden here in Snellville. It was just designated as a Rosalind Carter butterfly garden. And the Rosalind Carter Butterfly Trail was started in Plains, Georgia, of course, the home of the Carters. And it was started originally to increase habitat for the monarch butterfly, because they fly through this area as they fly to Mexico to overwinter. Our garden is one of 800 gardens in the U.S., Canada, Japan, and England that have been designated part of the Rosalind Carter Butterfly Garden. I have some pictures here that I've taken in our garden just because I want you to see how very beautiful it is, some of the butterflies we attract. And I think there's one more picture. And this, the orange flowers there are the milkweed that we've planted to attract the monarch butterflies to the garden. And I'm just really proud of all our gardeners that put forth so much effort to make that really a showpiece for Snellville. Of course, the other thing I have to mention is the 12th season of our Snowball Farmers Market begins the first Saturday in June 5th, and will continue every Saturday morning through September 25th. It will be 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on the green. This year we have more vendors than we've ever had. We have 53 vendors. And I'm just real pleased with that. We have 51 spaces, but we're accommodating 53 because some of them share a space. And we will have, of course, locally raised produce. We'll have pasture-raised meats, fresh eggs. We now have seafood coming from Darien, Georgia. That's our shrimp vendor, as well as we have very fresh fish and scallops coming from just south of Tampa, Florida, from a company there that's actually owned by a man that lives in this area. And people have told me it's the freshest fish they've ever had. Of course, we'll have baked goods of all kinds. We will have honey. Christy, this year we have a coffee trailer. She's bringing coffee and tea and espresso and smoothies and milkshakes, I understand. We're going to have beautiful fresh cut flowers. And we have a few very carefully selected craft vendors. We don't allow many craft vendors because we are a farmer's market. That's the main reason for our existence. And so the ones that we do approve, we choose very, very carefully. And as far as international foods, we will have Indian foods, Hispanics, and new this year, Guyanese food, which will be different for us. And so we're just really looking forward to it, looking forward to our new vendors, and I think it's going to be a great market this year. So be sure to come.
Thank you. Now for the Mayor's Pro Tem Report. I don't have much to say because everybody said what I was going to say. So it's probably going last. Do want to remind everybody that this weekend we're having a concert and a Memorial Day celebration, and I'm sure Miss McAloon will come to the podium and give us all the details. No, go ahead. It's your deal. So that'll end my mayor's report, and I'll open the floor for public comment. You're up.
I was going to just let you say it.
Then I'd never hear the end of it. You take it away. I want to.
Kelly McAloon, 2916 Overwood Lane, Snellville, Georgia. As David said, Saturday is a big day. It's our memorial celebration. We've got the Broad Street Band of Sugar Hill that will start at 4 o'clock in the road. The program itself starts at 4:30. Then we'll move on to the green, and actually the Broad Street Band is going to be the opener, of course with a different genre of music for the band, the Wildflowers, which is a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers tribute. So come out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Now we've had all the positive news. Let's get down to real news. Tricia Rollins, 2088 Harbor Oaks Drive. I was here a year ago with problems, and we still got problems. I wrote Butch the latest, but it has slowed down, it's gotten better, but it's still the same problems. We got trucks behind the building, 18-wheeler sitting back there. I heard a lady's voice. The last complaint I called in was a lady's voice. I assume it's the same truck driver at Big Lots. And if these people are being ticketed, then they won't be back there. They won't stay back there. Okay? If we got police department riding behind there and flushing them out, then I don't have to get involved. Okay. Somebody hired a pressure washer at 10 o'clock, 10:30 to pressure wash the front of the building at Kohl's. He's going to be down at Ashley Furniture at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Right at my window. Okay? Who hired him? Did they get a ticket? Butch let me know. He says citations are being written. I want to do open records, and I want to find out, are these tickets being written? Okay? If they are, these people are not going to come back. Okay? If the citations are getting greater, you can bet they're not going to come back. But something's not happening. The ethics questions, that's really funny, because in the last 2 years, this community has known some things that are not ethical in the city. Some of the 5 ethic principles I was reading this morning: treat all people fairly, use the power of our position and well-being for our constituents, create an environment of honesty, openness, and integrity. Okay. These have been well overlooked and needed. For over 2 years, I've been targeted by our police department and Councilman Todd Warner because I had called the PD, constantly requiring our police department to do their job in enforcing the ordinance behind the shopping center, for which backs up to my house. Fortunately, City Attorney Powell told me that Dave Emanuel had asked him to help with the situation. And things have gotten better, but not before things escalated. After a few officers took it upon themselves to turn the tables and falsely target me with violations, until I showed pictures in my videos of my innocence to the city manager, mayor, and my attorney. Were ethics reprimands ever given to the 2 officers that falsely did probable causes against me? It's a good question. Who knows? Then Councilman Todd Warner created a private message post page on social media to encourage the bashing of me and lobbying for non-support in a neighborhood watch program, and that I created after my Snellville neighborhood had 46 break-ins. He told everyone that the city council, the police department, and the community did not support me. Problems were that he added my alias to the group where he was posting, and I proceeded to screenshot all the unethical efforts in attempting to destroy my character. Other problem was that 2 people on council didn't even know of his outspoken accusations. Others in the community have written me of his unethical outspokenness at times, attempts to throw authority into the issue. Maybe the citizens of Snellville should join me in not supporting him come November. This police department has an officer that has performed unethical behavior while on duty, and the department has made no effort in over a year to ask this officer or this now former citizen about unethical behavior, which can't be denied, because I have pictures and screenshots of the text. What they want to do is shame this woman, and she is still willing to come forward and tell her story, but nobody has made an effort to call her or go to her. She now lives outside of the city, and it's a travel issue for her and work. I went to Councilman Warner about it. Several others came here to council, and I was told to leave it alone. She doesn't want to come forward. She
Rollins, we're well past our 5 minutes. Please
Okay.
wrap it up.
All right. What I wanted to say is there are ethical problems in the city, and to re-sign this and put a plaque out in the lobby is useless. We need people on this council to solve problems. I had the officer that's in these pictures respond to one of my calls. Okay, do you think that didn't cause problems? And if anything happens, I'm going to hold the city and council responsible, because he should not be answering my calls when there are problems out there, unethical problems that have been drawn up. Whenever y'all are ready to sit down, she's ready to sit down.
Thank you.
Boy, it's been so long since I've been up here, I don't even remember my name or address anymore.
2027 Tanglewood Drive.
Okay, Kurt Schultz, thank you. Anyway, this has been an oddball week for our neighborhood. We've had a lot of things happening that, you know, our neighbors have not been real pleased about. Mainly noise problems, you know, late at night with fireworks and loud music, and carnival set up a couple doors up the street from us that looks like some kind of business going on. And, you know, I want to thank the police, code enforcement, Jason, John Dennis, and our public safety officers for, you know, responding to this and helping us through all this. They do a great job. Continual problems we have are, number one, the noise, and number two, the fast, speedy traffic coming both up and down Tanglewood Drive. And during the work session, I know Gretchen brought up about revisiting our noise ordinance to maybe fall more in line with Gwinnett County's, which looks like that could be a very big help to us. And I'd plead with you, please look at that seriously and let's get something done. And the main thing is to enforce it, and like Trish just said, you know, give out fines when necessary. I think that's the most important thing that needs to be done to, you know, make sure these don't happen again. The other thing on Tanglewood, you know, I realized, you know, we can't have a police officer stationed, you know, in Nob Hill or Millbrook, you know, 24/7. But possibly with the money that's, you know, coming in from these speed cameras and so on, you know, it has to be used for public safety. And I just, you know, hopefully get you all to look at, you know, using some of these speed like islands that slow down the speed calming islands, you know, especially on Tanglewood, and I know there's similar problems in other neighborhoods. And if we could look throughout the city and see where the main problems are. I know Tanglewood has, you know, had this problem since we've lived there, you know, almost 50 years now. So anyway, if you would strongly look at mainly these two items, I would really appreciate it. And I know you've got a lot on your table right now with everything that's happening, you know, commercially with the Grove and everything, but we also need to take care of our individual neighborhoods and citizens. So please look at all this stuff carefully. We need some help on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Anybody else want to make a comment? Seeing none, I'll see if we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? That's 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, everybody who showed up, and have a safe drive home.